Canby City Council regular meeting for May 6, 2015. If you'll please stand for the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. Dear Lord, thank you so much for all that you do for us and how you provide for us. Grant us up here wisdom and discernment, and please watch over the men and women that serve and protect our communities, both here, nationwide, and abroad. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Next thing on the agenda this evening is the presentation by Canby Fire District of Commendation Letter Award to Canby Police Officer Nolan Booth. Mr. Gary.
So kind of set the stage for you. On November 11th, 5:46 in the morning, we had a call of a structure fire, residential fire. It was kind of a strange call, one that came from a third-party caller. It wasn't from the caller of the home, it was from a third party. So it was one of those that they didn't know if there were people still in the home or not. Officer Booth heard the call come in over the radio, was actually getting off of shift, or getting close to getting off of shift.
Almost made it.
Responded to the call. Once he got there, gave a size up, was what we call a size up, said there was 6-foot flame links in the living room. He could see through the window there was 6-foot flames. If you can imagine how big 6-foot flames are, that's pretty good size when you think about your campfire and things like that. That's a lot of fire to have in a room. He assured everybody was out. There was only one occupant. He was out. Then with some quick thinking, he went back to his car, grabbed a fire extinguisher, stepped just inside the front door, discharged his fire extinguisher. When he discharged the extinguisher, the fire laid down. It laid down a whole bunch. Before we got there, it did come back up, discharged the extinguisher again, pretty much put the fire out. I was the next one to arrive. I got there thinking 6-foot flame links, and there was hardly anything. Very little. Our guys, little time moving some stuff out, moving some stuff around, but the fire was out. So with that, Canby Fire would like to recognize Officer Booth for his quick actionness and willing to go above and beyond the line of duty in order to protect the citizens and the property of the city of Canby. Without his dedication and effort, the residents would have the fire would have continued to grow, and the residents, the family, would have suffered a tremendous loss. The loss was some smoke damage. Really wasn't a significant loss, thanks to Officer Booth. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Todd. I appreciate that. Officer Booth, thank you. You've been on the squad exactly how long now?
A little over 2 years now.
That's a big deal. Thank you, all of you, both police and fire, for one, being here, but two, for most importantly, for all that you do for our community. There's a lot going on these days out in other parts of the country, and I really do appreciate all that you do to keep our community safe and protected. It's not an easy job, and you are one of those professions when you leave for the day, you don't know what you're going to expect, and so I thank you all very, very much for all that you do for us. Keep Canby safe, so thank you. I'm going to go into a series of proclamations. If you guys want to stick around, you're welcome to.
Look at them all leave us.
Now the rest of Canby is going to be safe. Perfect. Well, we will get into our proclamations here. We've got a couple of them. The first one this evening is the proclamation for Water Safety Month. Whereas citizens of Canby recognizes that swimming and aquatic-related activities contribute to good physical and mental health and enhance the quality of life for all people. And whereas the citizens of Canby understand the essential role that water safety education plays in preventing drownings and recreational water-related injuries, and have demonstrated an understanding by approving funding to continue operation in the Canby Swim Center. And whereas the city of Canby is aware of the contributions made by the recreational water industry as represented by the many organizations, including the Canby Swim Center, involved in the National Water Safety Month Coalition that have developed safe swimming facilities, swim lessons, and other aquatic programs, home pools and spas, and related activities. And whereas these facilities, along with the many natural rivers and ponds in the Canby area, are providing healthy places to recreate, learn and grow, build self-esteem, confidence, and a sense of self-worth, which contributes to the quality of life in our community. And whereas the citizens of Canby recognize the ongoing efforts and commitment of the Canby Swim Center to educate the public, and especially children, regarding water safety issues so that they may safely enjoy the benefits of all water-related activities. And whereas the citizens of Canby understand the vital importance of communicating water safety rules and programs to families and individuals of all ages, whether owners of private pools, users of public swimming facilities, or visitors to area rivers and swimming holes. Now, therefore, I, Brian Hodson, by the virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the city of Canby, do hereby proclaim the month of May as Water Safety Month in the city of Canby, and do urge all those in the Canby area to support and promote this observance. Given unto my hand the 6th day of May, 2015, in the city of Canby, Oregon. And Eric's here to accept this for us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Here you are. Do you want to take a moment and
Sure.
say a few things?
First of all, I want to say it's kind of anticlimactic to come after that, but thank you. I just want to remind people that since it's Water Safety Month, it's a good time to sign up for swimming lessons. We have all our summer lessons open now, and or come out and try a lap swim or water exercise class or something like that. Also this Saturday, we have the North Lake Physical Therapy Canby Gator Grinder Triathlon at the Canby Swim Center. It's usually between 7 a.m. and 1 p.m. So it's not too terribly long, and all the transitions are at the Canby Swim Center, so it's a good place to view the triathlon if you want to come out and watch. Although you might want to park down the street a little ways, because the parking lot we use for our transition area. So and if anybody has any questions about the swim center or anything.
There are still swim lessons being provided by partnership between the swim center and the schools.
Yes, we are finishing, we're in the middle of our second grade swimming lessons. We have right now we're doing Trost, and then we have one more school to do before the end of the school year. And we have about 500 students that we've done swimming lessons through the schools between Canby and Molalla, because since Molalla is not operating right now, we had a couple schools from them come and do swimming lessons at our pool also.
Great. Well, thank you. You guys have done and continue to do an amazing job of keeping the pool operating and a great facility for everyone in our community that uses it. So thank you and thank the rest of your team on the job that they do from us. It's really a great piece to our community. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
Yeah, I want to say that for me, it's a pleasure to work with Eric. The pool is actually very complex and difficult to operate, and Eric makes it look simple. And it's difficult because there are so many agencies and individuals who use it in so many different ways throughout the year, and I just sincerely appreciate the work that you do, Eric. You make it so I don't have to think about it, which is really, really good.
Thank you.
Sorry. Our second proclamation today is Poppy Days in Canby. Whereas the American Legion Auxiliary adopted the poppy as its memorial flower, which pays tribute to the war dead and serves as a source of aid to surviving veterans and their families. And whereas the contributions provided by the American Legion Auxiliary are put to good use in support of the children and youth of the Canby community and toward the rehabilitation and care of veterans. And whereas the work of the American Legion Auxiliary through the annual sale of poppies is a proper and fitting tribute to the acts of patriotism and courage made by our nation's veterans in time of national need. Now, therefore, I, Brian Hodson, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the city of Canby, do hereby proclaim the month of May 2015 as Poppy Month, and do further proclaim the week of May 24th through May 30th, 2015 as Poppy Days in the city of Canby, and urge all citizens of the City of Canby to proudly remember the sacrifices made by the members of our armed forces by contributing to the American Legion Auxiliary during the month of May 2015 in support of their service to our country's veterans. Given unto my hand this 6th day of May 2015. And Irene, are you taking this on behalf of anyone?
I
No?
would be glad to take
Will you
that,
look at that?
actually, as member of the auxiliary. I'll be glad to get that to
Perfect. Thank you very much.
You bet. Thank you.
And I do believe the auxiliary is doing breakfast for Mother's Day weekend?
Actually, the auxiliary isn't. It is
Oh,
being done at the
all right.
post, but the auxiliary was last Sunday, which
Okay.
was for poppies. I'll talk about that.
All right. The next proclamation for this month is National Association of Letter Carriers National Food Drive Day. Whereas the National Association of Letter Carriers, in conjunction with the National Rural Letter Carriers Association, VALPAC, U.S. Postal Service, United Way, AFL-CIO, Feeding America, and Velasas are coordinating a non-perishable food drive. And whereas the St. Vincent de Paul Food Bank at St. Patrick's Church and Canby's local food banks are in need of food at all times. And whereas the local food bank shelves are continually in need of replenishment due to the ongoing dramatic increase in the need for food. And whereas last year 8,377 pounds of non-perishable food was collected, and whereas during the last 6 months the total number of food orders at the St. Vincent de Paul Food Bank in Canby was 5,301. And whereas the local letter carriers will collect non-perishable food items placed by mailboxes on Saturday, May 9th, 2015. Now therefore, I, Brian Hodson, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the City of Canby, do hereby proclaim this Saturday, May 9th, 2015, as the 2015 National Association of Letter Carriers National Food Drive Day, and urge all citizens of the City of Canby to participate in this worthwhile event by donating non-perishable food items to help feed those who are in need. Given unto my hand this 6th day of May 2015. And I know that we've got people
That's what
for this
Irene's
one.
here for.
Irene, hello. Good to see you. There's that for you.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you. Hi, Gretchen. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Give you ladies a moment to encourage the people at home to put out some food on Saturday.
Well, thank you, Mayor Hodson and council members. This is a privilege for us. It's a lot of work, and Saturday we're almost guaranteed great weather. So everything we hope goes well, of course, and just don't forget to put the food in your plastic bags and in your mailboxes or on your mailboxes on Saturday, and we'll be picking them up. At this time, I'd like to introduce you to Gretchen McCown of the St. Vincent St. Patrick's Food Bank here in Canby.
So we're the recipients, and it's always a very busy day, but a very fun day as well. And we appreciate the letter carriers doing this. We get most of our food from Oregon Food Bank, and the food drives give us a huge variety, which is very great. And this year we're celebrating our 25th anniversary of the food bank, so we'd love to be out of business, but unfortunately we're not. So we thank you for your support.
And with
thank
that,
you.
she will do
gonna-
her food drive collection right here from the council members and the mayor. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you guys very much.
Thank you, Gretchen, for the service to our community.
St. Pat's has done a terrific job for the city.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
both very much. Thanks. Our next proclamation this evening is regarding the Walk and Bike Challenge Month. Whereas for more than a century, the bicycle has been a utilitarian, economical, environmentally sound, and effective means of personal transportation, recreation, and fitness. And whereas the City of Canby encourages the use of bicycles and walking as a means of transportation. And whereas the City of Canby recognizes the bicycle as a legitimate roadway vehicle and therefore is entitled to legal and responsible use of all public roadway facilities in Oregon, except highways constructed to interstate standards. And whereas the City of Canby encourages the increased use of the bicycle and walking, benefiting all citizens of Canby by improving air quality, reducing traffic, congestion, and noise, decreasing the use and dependence upon finite energy sources, and fostering physical fitness. And whereas the City of Canby recognizes the use of bicycles and walking as viable modes of transportation, endeavors to promote safe and responsible bicycling and walking, is committed to incorporating the development of bicycle and pedestrian facilities in the vision for revitalizing downtown Canby. And whereas the City of Canby's Bicycle and Pedestrian Committee, in conjunction with the mayor, encourage all citizens to ride their bicycles or walk to work, to the store, to the park, to school, and around their neighborhoods, and with friends, family, and neighbors to promote the personal and societal benefits achieved from bicycling and walking. Now, therefore, I, Brian Hodson, by virtue of the authority vested in me as the mayor of the City of Canby, do hereby proclaim the month of May as Walk and Bike Challenge Month in the City of Canby, and do urge all those in the Canby area to support and promote this observance. Given under my hand the 6th day of May 2015 in the City of Canby, Oregon. And Councilor Parker, may I have you present that? Thank you, sir.
Bike and Pedestrian Committee, you bet.
Perfect. And I don't know if many of you know, but Canby has been voted one of the most walkable cities in Oregon. So we are doing great things to make that happen, and we continue to do that. So I'm excited that we are doing those things that keep us moving in that direction. So thank you, Councilor Parker, for delivering that. Our next proclamation is Public Works Week. If I can.
It's a lot of proclamations to read in one night.
A lot of proclamations.
Thank goodness there's water up front, which is the next one.
Imagine.
Public Works Week. Whereas public works services provided in our community are an integral part of our citizens' everyday lives, and whereas the support of an understanding and informed citizenry is vital to the efficient operation of public works systems and programs such as parks, fleet, sewer, streets, stormwater, wastewater, and public buildings. And whereas the health, safety, and comfort of this community greatly depends on these facilities and services, and whereas the quality and effectiveness of these facilities, as well as their planning, design, and construction, are vitally dependent upon the efforts and skill of public works staff. And whereas the efficiency of the qualified and dedicated personnel who staff public works departments is materially influenced by the people's attitude and understanding of the importance of the work they perform. Now, therefore, I, Brian Hodson, by the virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the City of Canby, hereby proclaim May 17th through the 23rd, 2015, as Public Works Week in the City of Canby, and call upon all citizens and civic organizations to acquaint themselves with the issues involved in providing our public works and to recognize the contributions which public works staff make every day to our health, safety, and comfort and quality of life in Canby and elsewhere. Given under my hand this 6th day of May 2015 in the City of Canby, Oregon. And I will pass this down to Rick.
Yes,
Thank you, sir.
As the person wearing the Public Works Director hat at the moment, I will be proud and pleased to accept this.
Perfect. And thank everyone down there at Public Works for us.
Absolutely.
It is a sometimes very thankless job, and they do a great job.
We will find a way to make this a special week for them.
Perfect. Thank you. Last but not least on the proclamation agenda is Drinking Water Week. Whereas water is our most valuable natural resource, and whereas only tap water delivers public health protection, fire protection, support for our economy, and the quality of life we enjoy. And whereas any measure of successful society, low mortality rates, economic growth and diversity, productivity, public safety, are in some way related to access to safe water. And whereas we are all stewards of the water infrastructure upon which future generations depend. And whereas each citizen of our city is called upon to help protect our source waters from pollution, to practice water conservation, and to get involved in local water issues by getting to know their water. Now, therefore, I, Brian Hodson, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the City of Canby, do hereby proclaim May 3rd through 9th, 2015 as Drinking Water Week in the City of Canby, and call upon all citizens to support and promote this observance. Given under my hand the 6th day of May 2015 in the City of Canby, Oregon. And Bob, are you going to collect this for us? Thank you, sir. You play such an integral part in our water.
Oh, he brought frisbees.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Thank you. To celebrate this week and to bring out the youth in all of our people and the fond memories of spring, we'd like to have you at drinking water.
Thank you.
Now,
Right.
I want you to know these were not made in Australia, so they won't come back.
They won't come back to
Okay.
you, so. Darn.
Thank you, sir.
They are, however, made in the
Thank you, Bob.
U.S.
They are made in the U.S. Amen.
There
Oh,
you go.
yep, right there. Good job.
Perfect.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bob.
Thanks, Bob. Do we, Mr. Rocha,
And
do we have, how many holes at our
have
disc golf course do we have set up?
I think there's none.
Is there 9?
Yeah.
Perfect.
We do have these available in the Canby Utility, in the downtown office here. As long as we have supplies, stop in and regain your youth.
There you go.
Perfect.
The drinking water, the fountain of youth is found at Cub.
Excellent. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, Bob.
All right, that concludes the proclamations. Communications at this point.
I have nothing to share.
All right. First opportunity this evening for citizen input and community announcements on non-agenda items, and we have one card, and that is Mr. Cornelius. Would you like to come up, Bob, and talk to us about the proposed water rate increase and a new GM? Exciting news.
Yes, yes it is. Okay, I'm Bob Cornelius. I'm the chairman of the Canby Utility Board. We'll take the new GM first. The GM that was here previously gave us 30 days notice in August and left in September. And we've gone through quite a search to find a new GM. And today, about 1:30 in the afternoon, I signed off on the contract with Dan Murphy. He is presently living in Spokane, Washington, and was the GM and CEO of Big Bend Electrical Co-op that's based in Britsville, Washington. And he's going to be here not later than July the 1st. He's looking for a place to live. So the sooner he finds it, the sooner he'll get here. And we're looking forward to having him. I think he will do us a fine job here. That was the first item. Second item is we are proposing an 8% increase on the water base meter charge effective June the 1st. That's an overall 8%. What this means for the average residential person is about $2.88 per month increase, less than 10 cents a day. There will be no increase on the water tier rates. So you're not paying anything more for the actual water itself. The reasons for the increase are we need to restore our delayed capital construction projects such as water main replacements. We don't want to have something in the Canby Herald like they have in Portland every once in a while. We've had a water main break and it's spewing 80 feet in the air and it's going to take 3 days to shut it off. No, we don't want that to happen. But we have fallen behind for various reasons, and we're at least a year behind right now in our replacement, and this will help us catch up. Succession planning is another thing. We only have a very few water workers who maintain our system, know and maintain it, and they're getting up in years. They're very close to retirement or over retirement age. So we need to get a new person in there who can learn our system and take over when they leave. And the last thing is to start building reserves now for future water supply needs. About 30 years from now, they're projecting that the population of Canby will be enough that we will need an additional new water treatment plant. Those don't come cheap. You're probably talking about $30, $40, $50 million to do that. To start the process, we have obtained water rights on the Willamette River. We presently get our water from the Malala River, but we will have 2 sources that way. We'll keep our present plant going and have an additional one. But We do need to build our reserves. We won't be able to have reserves to pay for everything, but we will have to have sufficient reserves and income for bonding purposes. So those are the reasons why we're having this rate increase right now. It's proposed, we're having a public hearing at our board meeting on May the 12th at 7 p.m. at Canby Utility. Public's invited. You can listen in, you can look in, you can sit there, you can make comments pro or con. That's what we're there to hear. Any questions from anybody?
Good report, thank
No.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
And congratulations on finding a new GM.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
I'm sure you're very happy about this.
Great. Thanks, Bob. Next on the agenda is mayor's business. So I get for reading all those proclamations, I know. A couple of things. So attended the Clackamas County Citizens Dinner where our speaker for the evening was Senator Chuck Thompson, who was giving us an update on the legislative session and kind of what was been going on and what bills are yet to come. So it was very informative, and there is definitely a lot coming up and going on there in Salem. Attended the new crossing opening there at Canby High School, which is now open. It added a number of safety features and whatnot, and I'll let Councilor Hensley expand on that during her report. But very exciting. I thought it was a great touch to the out front there of the high school. We've started our budget meetings for the 2015-2016 budget. Our next meeting is going to be tomorrow night at 6 p.m. I'm seeing nods. Yes, good.
Right here.
Right here in the council chambers. So if you want to come down and listen and provide input, or take good notes to provide input later, please do. First Fridays are back in swing for the remainder of the year, so mark your calendars. Lots going on and coming up. I hear there's some very exciting plans coming up here for the summer months, so please stay tuned for that. Canby Saturday Market is back open. It is located on 99E and Sequoia Parkway. I was very well attended on Saturday. In fact, a number of the vendors were running out of plants and vegetables and fruits by about noon. So they were not, did not anticipate, I think, quite the overwhelming draw that they would be, and it's a great new location. So it'll be back again this Saturday from 9 to 3, and my understanding is that they are adding 10 more vendors to the mix, possibly more, but 10 I know for sure to that corner. So come down and take it in. I definitely had my share of cinnamon rolls and wood-fired pizza that day. Why is everyone chuckling? Yesterday I had a meeting with several community leaders and members about the possibility of there being no fireworks this year. As you saw on the front page of the Herald, there's some conversation that might not happen this year. So it sounds like an organization has stepped forward to try to make it so that the show will go on. So we're excited about that, and it sounds like the General Canby Day Board is going to help out and do what they can to help us this year and try to make it happen. And with the support of the new group hopefully taking it on, we'll see the fireworks continue this year and going forward. So please stay tuned on that. And then for Rick, possibly a new business item for us in the future, depending on what Kim's allows in our agendas coming up. We have a couple of things have come up regarding a conflict in policy and practice. And so I'd like to see if we can get it where we're both one and the same, where our policy is the same as the practice or vice versa. And the one that came up was regarding the decision for the city to take on the trimming of the arborvitae along Ivy, and that we absorb that cost. But my understanding is that the policy is not generally that way. And so I'd like to try to get some clarification for us on that to determine whether we need to change the policy or we need to change the practice. So if you wouldn't mind looking into that.
I will look into it and bring you a recommendation.
Thank you. You're always good about giving us your recommendation. And finally, tomorrow morning is the Mayor's Prayer Breakfast. It's at Cutsford's Town Hall from 6:30 to 7:30. So if you are so not tempted to pull the covers up to your chin and stay in bed, and want to come down and pray for myself and us here up front and
We need
other
it.
civic leaders, both here in the county and nationally, I would greatly appreciate it. There will be a breakfast, and it's always good to have Cuts First Donuts, but I think there'll be more than that. So please come down if you would like. And that concludes my business for this evening, and we'll start with Council Rocha.
I do not have anything tonight, sir.
Perfect. Thank you. Councilor Parker.
Well, I'll be joining you tomorrow at the prayer breakfast, and I really wanted to thank you for the comments that you made in the Herald this week. I thought that they were very welcoming, and appreciate it, and look forward to what you have to say tomorrow. Spring has really sprung here in the city. On 2nd Avenue today, the flower baskets went up. Tomorrow, the flower baskets will go up on 1st Avenue. We'll be adding some more flowers out in front with to go with the dahlia bulbs that were donated by our own Swan Island folks there, and we appreciate that donation. The Historic Review Board has turned in its application for the Philander Lee tree out there on the property next to the fairgrounds. And that will help us draw attention to another historical element of Canby. I appreciate them playing a heads up. Historic preservation and awareness is really becoming an economic draw. And it's a way of bringing people in to see various things. And the more we pay attention to this, I think the better off we are from a business standpoint. The Bicycle Committee had a rousing discussion in defense of bike lanes this week and this past week, and I was very glad to see it. I reported back to the mayor and to Councilor Hensley, who's the liaison to the Traffic Safety Commission, that our folks were standing up for cyclists, that if there's a conflict between needing a place to park on the street and having a bike lane, that they were for bike lanes. So I'm glad the bikes have an advocate. The mayor is going to be working through some of the conflicts and issues that we've got with that, but I appreciated the advocacy. I really am glad that we've got some people here who care about the roadways being safe and able to travel. And then Mother's Day is coming up, and my mother is only with me in memory, but I do have a friend who needed a birthday present, so I walked downtown to Wallflowers and purchased some jewelry there made by Kathy Cutsford, so I figure that's a twofer there.
Yep.
And so when you think about purchasing something for a mom in your life, think about downtown businesses, because it really helps out.
Perfect. Thank you, sir. Councilor Hensley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We've been talking about Traffic Safety Commission, so I will start there. The bike lane issue was on Redwood, and there is no parking signage now from 11th to 99 on North Redwood. There's been some discussion of maybe some compromises that can be had so people may park their cars, and also ride their bikes. So it's an ongoing discussion, but there is no parking signage at this time. The other issue that came up from a constituent was the Northwood Estates, 14th. There's a 28-foot wide street on 14th, so there was an issue with parking on both sides of the street. There's no way to get in and out, especially for a fire truck. So Canby Fire District came with a recommendation to post no parking signs on the inside bend side of the road, so that then they can have the neighbors park but still be able to get in and out in a safe manner. Finally, the crosswalk project at Canby High School is complete. The road is open, folks, and the real fun part about this is it's not just your average crosswalk. It is a really cool crosswalk. It's got the Canby Cougar's Paws, it says, We Are Canby, and the best part is this was designed and completed by students in the graphics design class there. And I have invited the graphics design teacher, Anna, and some of the students that participated in the project to come. There was a scheduling conflict for tonight, so we're hoping to have them here to present what they've done on the meeting on the 20th.
Perfect.
And you're welcome. Thank you. And community-wise, I attended the North Redwood Development Concept Plan Stakeholders Meeting. I did partake in First Friday, as usual, and the Chamber Luncheon. I also went to the Farmers Market, because I admitted this already to several folks, that I was a doubting Thomas as far as the new location. And so I was interviewing some of the vendors, and rave reviews. Marilyn Nash has done a fantastic job, and they're more than thrilled and excited for this season at the new location. And yes, we were out of strawberries, so now I have to go back. There were no strawberries left. And finally on my report is, we gave this lovely proclamation to the Auxiliary for Poppy Days. Our auxiliary breakfast last Sunday was actually a fundraiser for poppies. And it was one of our busiest breakfasts. We did 40 in the first hour, so we were very busy for those 3 hours. We do have a Mother's Day breakfast, not by the auxiliary. The auxiliary is actually on hiatus for the breakfasts right now.
Who's cooking?
I think it's either Post or Sal. I'm not sure. But Mother's Day reservations are required. So
Will there be
call.
gravy?
There's always gravy. There's always gravy, Tim. I assure you. And but if you want to attend,
say about that?
if you'd like to attend Mother's Day, you do need to call the Post for a reservation. And the final breakfast for the year will be on May 17th. I will not be serving, but I will be attending because I also have to get my gravy before summertime.
Yeah.
And then they'll resume again in September. But 8:30 to 11:30 on Sundays, and use the Fur Street entrance. That concludes my report.
Thank you. I was there on Sunday. It was quite delicious. I was
We were busy,
pleasantly full when I left. Council President Dale.
Mr. Mayor, on the Canby utility front, Chairman Cornelius has already told us about the rate increase and the good news about having a general manager. He did, however, ask me to go ahead and talk about the water taste issue we've had in town. Never fails, right? Drinking water week. Proclamation, applause, and sometimes the water tastes a little funny. In speaking with Canby Utilities operations manager, it's a little bit of a mystery where the funky taste is coming from. It's not likely to be a repeat of the algae bloom. It's too early in the year. It's too cool in the water. The taste is not everywhere in the system. It's been on the north side of town, and the south side's happy, and then you might taste it on the south side, and the north side has no taste. So they've been trying, well, no taste of the water, as opposed to, sorry about that. The mayor and I live on the south side, just saying.
Freudian slip there.
Yeah. But Canby Utility has been working diligently to try to find the cause. They have been flushing the lines to help get the untasteful water out. They flushed over 135,000 gallons of water. So they take this very, very seriously, the taste of the water. Veolia, our water system manager, continues to faithfully test the water and work with Canby Utility on it. The water is absolutely safe to drink. Taste is what we call cosmetic, but the water is very, very safe to drink. The operations manager also asked me to let you all know that Canby Utility is in the process of hiring a consulting engineer to explore options for how to deal with taste issues. Because we do get our water from a river, and rivers do get warm in the summer, and so it is possible that we could have some issues again. So they are looking at that matter and the investment that it would take and the alternatives that they are. They take the quality of our water very, very seriously here in Canby. And we are blessed to have good water, and it always far exceeds every state and federal standard there is for safety. So that's the news on the taste. It looks to be that it's all but gone now around the city, and on we'll go, continuing the fine water that we have in Canby. And as a brag to Councilor Coleman, I don't know if I'm first this year, but I do have my rodeo tickets purchased online. I might be first, I'm not sure, but there you go. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Councilor Height.
Thank you. So towards the end of April, I met with some local nonprofit leaders at the Canby Center, and they want to get together and kind of unify and do something called Giving Tuesday in Canby. And so that follows Black Friday, Cyber Monday, etc. So it's Giving Tuesday, and so it's giving back to the community. It's a great idea. So it will benefit not only their nonprofits, but the whole community of Canby, we hope. So they'll do their kind of individual fundraisers, but also their community project will be some sort of volunteer service project. So they actually wanted to know if we can think of anything as a city, maybe. Is there some project that we can get, host a lot of volunteers for? Anyway, something to think about if you guys have ideas about that. And Tim Lesher is organizing that of the Canby Center, so that's exciting. The school district, in school district news, a new principal, high school principal was hired recently. It's Greg Dins of Tualatin. I don't know much beyond that, but that's exciting that they have a person there waiting to take the job in the fall. So that's good. And the charter school, the school board actually denied the application for the charter school, so the charter school will probably appeal that to the state. So stay tuned for more information there. It's kind of on a we'll see what happens with that. And the school calendar, this is kind of interesting. They approved it, and August 31st will be the first day of school this year, which is unusually early for Canby. There's some outcry the parents are thinking, but it's not September yet. But it's almost September, so August 31st for that. Library, you know how they did their cans for fines thing during Library Appreciation? They waived over $1,000 in overdue fines. So they took in a load of food that week, which is about over 1,000 pounds of food came in, which is kind of fun. And that all went to St. Patrick's Food Bank. We saw the representative here today. And even that week, they brought in more than average. It's interesting, on average, they get about $450 in fines, overdue fines, which is a lot. Some of it's mine. A lot of it's mine. I have a lot of fines.
I'm right there with you, Councilor.
But they collected even more that week in regular fines. So good job, library. And then CAT, they had their transit day to Capitol. I talked about that last month. It was April 8th. But they got to meet Representative Kennemer, Senator Olson. They met the governors. They had a good time, so they felt heard, and I think they enjoyed their time there. Their new parking lot is supposed to be done early this month, so they'll get to use that bus lot. New bus signs are going to be on 99E soon. Those are in the works to clearly mark the stops. And the Rider of the Month is Lillian Walter. North Development Plan, I went to that stakeholder meeting also, just for more detailed information was presented. I visited Greg and the Bike and Ped Committee. That was fun. It's a fun group of folks. I enjoyed that. And then the Spring Fling, the Canby Ed Foundation Spring Fling was fun at the end of April too. And first Friday, there was a scavenger hunt. So Jamie Stickle put together one of those. My kids and I did that. It was fun. 8 businesses were participating. So you went into business and tried to figure out, you got to kind of investigate. You walked around and found clues, and that was really fun. So great idea there, Jamie. A couple other community announcements, I guess, is the Canby Pregnancy Center is doing a fundraising walk this Saturday at 9 a.m. at Waite Park. I don't know if they've done that before. Have they? Okay. How many times have they? I haven't noticed.
It's been going on several years.
Oh, has it? Okay. Yeah, well, good. All right, so there's fundraising for them there. And today was National Bike to School Day, so it's part of the May Challenge. And so my neighborhood got together, and there was about 18 of us. It was super fun. There was this long line, this Peloton to Eccles. So, yeah, yay May proclamation, right, Mayor?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that was fun.
Great.
That's all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Councilor Coleman.
Follow all that. Mr. Mayor, I appreciate you hosting that Mayor's Prayer Breakfast. I plan to be there in attendance tomorrow morning.
Great, thanks.
I also attended the Canby Crossing at the high school. Appreciated your comments, Mr. Mayor, and Tracy, and got to meet the teacher that worked with the students, and and it was so great that they got recognition for that. And there's been some critics of that project, but that project improves the safety with new sidewalks, a lighted crossing, lighted street lights. I mean, it's a really good investment in the community, and I think the community will grow to appreciate it very much over time. Also attended a traffic safety meeting, and just have to say what a great productive group that is. So appreciate the participation by city manager at many of the meetings, our planning director, public works, our fire chief is there much of the time. Tracy does an excellent job as a liaison. And there's 14 to 15 people there almost every time. Tackle a lot of really important issues. And it's really a fun group to be a part of. On the planning commission front, attended the planning commission meeting. They approved application to allow construction of a detached garage with accessory dwelling. The municipal audit front, we kind of went through reviewing on the computer 4 different firms, and we narrowed that to 3. We held interviews, very thorough job done by Haley and Rick, and I believe, Rick, that Haley will have a recommendation for the council here
We
soon.
have a selection and it'll be at the next meeting.
Really an interesting process, so what a great group. She attended the budget committee meeting this last Thursday and planning on doing that again tomorrow evening, and thank you, Chair Dale, for chairing that up for us. You do a fabulous job. See here. Don't want to leave anything out. Let's see. Only other thing I'll add is in the summertime, one of the fun events this summer is a Cuts Forest Cruise-In at Waite Park that takes place on Canby's big weekend, the weekend following the Clackamas County Fair. And there's currently about 20 businesses that sponsor that event. And if you have a business and you're interested in being a sponsor, just go visit Frank Cuts Forest, and it's a wonderful opportunity for a business to advertise. There's goodie bags that go out to all the participants, and it's really turned into a wonderful event. And that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Great. Thank you all. Yes.
I
Councilor
actually neglected to mention one little thing that did come up at the Traffic Safety Commission meeting, and I've heard some folks around town talking about it, so I thought I would mention that we are very aware that there's an extra light on Elm Street at 99E. There's 3 lights in 2 lanes, and Jerry is getting in touch with ODOT to see if we can't get one of them removed.
Perfect.
As people are, one's a little too close to the left turn lane, so it turns green and people are turning,
Yes.
even though the left arrow is red. So we're working on that. They're aware of it and they're working on it, so you don't need to ring the phone down at Public Works.
Perfect. Great. Thank you all very much. I appreciate that. Great reports, and there's a lot going on in Canby. So thank you all for getting out there and being present. Moving to approval of and acceptance of the consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor, I move to adopt the minutes of the April 15th, 2015 City Council work session and regular meeting, and the minutes of the April 22nd, 2015 City Council work session.
Thank you, sir.
Second.
I'm sorry, was that a second?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion has been made by Council President Dale and seconded by Councilor Hensley to approve the consent agenda, which include the approval of minutes of the April 15th, 2015 City Council work session and regular meeting, and approval of minutes of the April 22nd, 2015 City Council work session. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes 6-0. Moving into resolutions and ordinances. Kim.
The first item we have is before you for second reading. It's ordinance 1415, and it's vacating 2 small portions of Southburg Parkway, public right-of-way that lie on the west side outside of the existing paved street and sidewalk.
Great. Thank you, Kim.
This was before you 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I guess it is now. This is part of the vacation and dedication agreement between S.R. Smith and the city of Canby. This is S.R. Smith's part, this is the city's part relating to 2 relatively small areas on the Burke Parkway. In fulfilling their responsibilities, S.R. Smith is going to be dedicating a small area along Burke Parkway, plus a much larger area down in the parking lot of our city park.
Great.
After approval of this, they'll begin recording all of the deeds, and there are a number of deeds that will have to be recorded to complete the process.
Yeah, very lengthy paperwork process to ensue coming up, so I appreciate that, and Joe, thank you for getting this taken care of. So I think it's a good thing for us and for S.R. Smith. So, great, thank you. So, take a motion, please.
I move that we accept ordinance number 1415, an ordinance vacating 2 small portions of South Berg Parkway, public right-of-way, that lie on the west side outside of the existing paved street and sidewalk.
Second.
Motion's been made by Councilor Height, seconded by Councilor Coleman to approve ordinance 1415, vacating 2 small portions of South Berg Parkway public right-of-way that lie on the west side outside of the existing paved street and sidewalk, for a second reading and roll call vote.
Counselor Rocha?
Aye.
Counselor Parker?
Aye.
Counselor Hensley?
Aye.
Counselor Dale?
Aye.
Counselor Height?
Aye.
Counselor Coleman?
Aye.
Great. Carries 6-0. Thank you.
The next item we have is ordinance 1417. This is authorizing a contract with Herd Farms for wastewater sludge removal and declaring an emergency.
And I can speak to this really quickly in that this is an ordinance, first of all, because it's over 50,000 and our charter requires that. It's a contract that we currently have with Herd Farms. This is a new contract. The old contract was going to come up here at the end of the month. So the new contract is capped at $149,000 because that keeps us under the bid amount under public contracting of $150,000. And this really is so that they give us close to the same deal that they gave us before, which was actually a smoking deal in terms of this sort of thing. If you read in the staff report, our earlier contract was for $53 per ton of wet sludge. It's going up to $55, I think, to reflect gas prices going up since the last time we did this contract. It's still $17 less than the nearest competitor, who happens to be Cahoots, who's our franchisee for waste disposal in general in Canby. So those were people close by, and they weren't nearly able to do what Herd Farms is doing for us. So until we can either figure out an entire bid process and go out for bid maybe after this contract expires, if you guys find that you want to pass this ordinance, where this is certainly our best avenue to go ahead and get rid of sludge, which is pretty nasty business that not everybody wants to be in. So gladly they take it away from us, and they actually go use it for fertilizer. So they do a good job with it.
This is actually the third time we brought this to you over the last couple of years. We know that there's a larger solution. It's going to be very technical to develop and will require a formal bid process. The likelihood of having more than one bidder is very, very slim. However, the work necessary to meet all of the legal and technical requirements of achieving that or accomplishing that process is so significant, and we can accomplish the same thing on the short term by doing this. So appreciate Joe taking this on in my absence, and thank you very much.
Yeah, this is a long-standing piece for us with sludge dryers not working and things of that nature. So if we want to prevent the warm summer months of the aroma that sometimes happens around July and August, so this is a necessary piece for us to do. So,
but we hope we can reduce it. I don't think we can prevent it, but at least
true.
We can
At least reduced. I had no complaints the last summer. So, Councilor Rocha, did you have some? You did.
You're closer to it.
10th hole. Got it.
10th hole.
All right.
Well,
thank you both.
Last couple months I have.
How often, can I just ask, how often is it carted away?
Every day.
Oh, every day? Okay. Okay.
Can't keep up with the flow.
Good to know.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
I recommend we approve ordinance number 1417, an ordinance authorizing the city of Canby to enter into a contract with Herd Farms for the wastewater sludge removal and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, sir. A second, please.
I'll second.
Motion made by Councilor Coleman, seconded by Councilor Rocha to approve ordinance 1417, authorizing a contract with Herd Farms for wastewater sludge removal and declaring an emergency. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Don't believe there's any new business this evening. City Administrator's business and staff reports.
Yeah, just a couple items, if I may. I still have trouble not smiling when we talk about sludge.
With this group, Rick, it's totally okay.
Sludge and cemetery seem to
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
I'm sorry.
if you have the opportunity, please take the time to drive through and take a look at the work that our Public Works Department is doing on the city cemetery. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm very, very proud of the work the city's undertaken to bring it up to a standard that we can all be proud of. Relative to the 4th of July fireworks show, we are, as a city, committed to participating in, and in fact, I think, helping to lead the effort to make sure that we pull off a fireworks show in 2015. I'll be meeting with some of our economic development and planning staff tomorrow morning to develop an initial plan of action to define the city's level of involvement. Our level of involvement will be in helping to set up and establish mechanisms through which people can contribute, businesses, and others can contribute funds to support the activities. We'll be trying to develop a campaign, and we'll be asking for support from the local newspaper, the Canby Herald, and others to get the word out. And we'll be using social media as a vehicle to accomplish that as well. We also have an all-hands meeting on the 13th, which is next Tuesday afternoon, and anybody who wants to attend, participate, and support is certainly welcome to, as long as we don't have a quorum. And this is important, and we're going to do whatever we can to make the 2015 show be something to remember. I also would like to, and one of you commented already, but I've had an opportunity to work with this individual for about the last 4 months on this project, and that's Marilyn Nash and the Farmers Market. And I just want to take a moment to publicly express my appreciation to her for the leadership that she's shown, and I mean, she just pure dogged determination and a desire to succeed has brought the farmers market back together and made it something that I think this community is going to really appreciate and certainly be proud of. It's drawing a lot of attention already, and it's just barely starting the season. So I want to publicly comment and compliment Marilyn Nash for the work that she has done on this. And that's all I have.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
I wasn't going to mention this, but since both you and the city administrator did, I thought I would bring it up. One of my new constituencies now is the faculty lounge at the Canby High School, so I tend to get, instead of the 10th hole, I tend to get my feedback in the faculty lounge. Today the discussion was about the article in the Canby Herald about the fireworks, and the interpretation was that Canby City, the city of Canby government, was going to stop having the fireworks.
No.
So I'm wondering if we could get some clarification on the city of Canby's role in that some people seem to believe that the 4th of July is a city of Canby event, and somehow we are not stepping up.
Thank you. So I will try to clarify, and Rick, please fill in anything that I might miss with this. So General Canby Day / 4th of July celebration is headed up not by the city of Canby. It is, we do the permitting for it, we support it in terms of helping with police presence, being there day of, night of, with the parade route and whatnot. It is there's an actual organization called General Canby Day that is a nonprofit organization that organizes, runs, puts together, promotes, and makes sure that this event goes on. The city really has, to this point, for a number of years, not been involved in any of the planning of this event. We have zero. We issue the permits and provide police, and that is our contribution. So what has come about has been with the fireworks piece is that over the last, as we found out the other day,
Probably 10
years, there's been an understanding between General Canby Day and Western Fireworks Display Company that they would work with General Canby Day to put on a decent fireworks display for their hometown. Now, understand that Western Firework Display runs 250 displays that day on July 4th, all across the western part of the United States. So they wanted, their involvement has been to meet General Canby Days kind of halfway. Well, this year, General Canby Days came back and said, this is about all that we had to put forth towards fireworks. Can you make up the difference? Well, finally, I think Western Fireworks said, you know what, we can't. We can't put on a decent display for the amount of money that you're put forward. So that's where we've come to kind of an impasse in that it's not that Western Fireworks Display does not want to do it. They very much want to. But at the same time, they have a business to run and they are stretched very thin. And so to meet the display that for them, for Canby that we do or have done in years past, has been about a $10,000 to $15,000 display. Well, whatever General Canby Days provides cash-wise